In 2012, we did a seminar, and at our seminar, we sold a program by a guy named Derek Naylor. And it was a $30,000 program, which is the most expensive program I had sold up to that time. And Derek was delivering it turnkey. Derek is going to pay us 25% commission. We very carefully orchestrated and choreographed this. Derek had a very impressive business that this was based on. And it was this turnkey thing. And so we had like, I don't know how many people. It was, I think, 16 people, 18, something like that. They bought Derek's program and they all spent $30,000. And we go off on our merry way. And then some things start to go wrong. The first thing that happens is Derek isn't paying us what he's supposed to pay us. So something's not right there. And then customers start coming to the surface saying they're not getting their stuff. And then we start trying to talk to Derek, and we're getting these dodgy answers. And the situation just got worse and worse and worse. It started deteriorating, and Derek's not returning phone calls. And we tried to do a whole bunch of stuff, including sending people there in person to try to talk to him. And finally, I came to the conclusion, you know what? I don't really know what's going on here, but we're not going to get our money and they're not going to get what they paid for. And this is like major oh crap. Because if you've done somewhere in the vicinity of $500,000 of business and nobody's getting what they bought, you have guys in black suits showing up. And like it can get really bad. And so I had an attorney giving me advice, and the advice I was getting was lawyer up. And I completely disregarded all the attorney's advice. And I got all of the buyers on a conference call. And I told them everything I've told you so far. And I said, well, everybody, I don't think you're going to get your stuff from Derek. I don't think he's going to deliver. I think you got screwed. And I got screwed too. And I have some ideas about how we can fix this. But for the moment, I think we have a big disaster on our hands. And I'm really sorry. I did not see this coming. And I'm going to try to fix it as best I can. But I want to hear from you guys first. Well, so basically everybody bitched for like 30 or 45 minutes. And, some of these people had really, sort of robbed Peter to pay Paul to get into this thing. And so we got everybody's grievances out on the table. I said, well, here's what we're going to do. I said, I don't think I can deliver exactly what Derek promised, but I can deliver maybe an adequate substitute. And I pulled some resources together. I've called in some favors, and I'm going to work with you guys during the next year, and we're going to try to fix this as best we can. And it's not going to be perfect, but I'll do my best. I said, I don't have the money. I can't give it back to you. And you're not going to get it from Derek. And basically, everybody was okay with that. And at the end of the phone call, it ended on a good note, and we all agreed, okay, so I'm going to have you guys come to my house, and we're going to do these seminars, and we're going to work together. I'm going to give you and we put Humpty Dumpty back together again as best as we could. And I hung up, and 2 minutes later, John Medocha calls me, and he goes, Perry? He goes, you just walked on water. He goes, if you had told me 2 hours ago that what was going to happen was what happened, I would have said, bullshit. That was unbelievable. Well, we and we worked with these people. We managed to not get into any lawsuits. We called off the dogs. There was people threatening to sue. There's all this stuff. And I did the absolute best I could to make it right. But the reason that I think it worked was I went in naked and vulnerable, and I said, hey, I'm really sorry. And here we are in this mess together. How can we make this right? Well, just to give you a little more context to that situation, a year later, Derek came around, and he had been addicted to opioids, and he had spent all of his money and lost his house, lost his car, lost his business, gotten his family basically homeless, and had hit bottom, had gone through rehab and was trying to put his life back together, and like was hoping to maybe possibly somehow um, make amends to me about it. A month later, he died of an opioid overdose. So like that ended really tragically. Um, and everybody kind of had to forgive and move on and do the best with what we could. But like I cringe to think how that would have turned out had I lawyered up. And I would like to suggest that if you have done wrong to somebody, or if you have a sword of Damocles hanging over your head because you've done something like what Louis C.K. did or whatever, the best thing you could do would be write that person a letter or send them an email, or better yet, talk to them in a sufficiently with the right other safe people around so that they feel safe, and you apologize and you admit what you did. I think the consequences will be way less than if you fight it. Because what people hate the most about these situations is when people cover them up. They hate that worse almost than what they actually did. And what I suspect that most people have never had the experience of just coming clean and making a confession about something really terrible that they did. But when you do, it's like this huge weight just comes off your shoulders, and you're like, wow, I didn't even realize how heavy that burden was, and I was carrying it around every day of your life. It will kill you.